Got big government bailouts, the Federal Reserve, and a huge spike in gold. Over at the CME Group with us is Daniel Frishberg of Biz Radio Network. Daniel, it's been about a month or so since we last saw you. What do you make of the market here?
I don't think in 60 years I can remember, well, 50 years in the stock market, that I can remember a $60 up day in gold. Can you?
Yeah, no, unbelievable move in gold. Shows you what kind of fear has gripped the market here. So from fear, opportunity, right?
Yeah, and you know, it's easy to see why, because money was pouring into the dollar. Russia showed people that they still needed us around the world, and then suddenly here we are having real problems with minding our own store. Mm-hmm. There's not too much to be confident about other than gold. They're losing confidence in paper promises altogether.
Well, about a month or so ago, you were here with us talking about some market activity. Twice the Russell 2000 with small caps, Corning, and twice semiconductors and technology. Obviously, all this getting caught up in the market sell-off.
Right. Well, those actually worked all right for a little while, and you remember we were talking about the pendulum swinging back, and it looked like a little bit of a rally, and what we wanted to do was to watch that rally and see whether there was any real animal spirits in it, and most of all, to watch and see if it brought out a lot of sellers who wished they were out of the market. It did. We got rid of those very quickly and ended up shorting them. Lucky to get out with our lives, but that was very shortly after that appearance.
All right, let's take a look at what you like these days, because you're looking in biotech, an area that has held up relatively well with the overall market.
Yeah, and it probably will, and what we're doing with biotech Gilead Sciences is staying away from the economy entirely. This is something, they've got a great cure for cystic fibrosis. They're working with hepatitis B, and they're going to be selling, they're going to be making money regardless, and we think eventually they'll be a great takeover candidate for somebody like Pfizer or Johnson & Johnson. Those guys are getting light on pipeline, and so they're going to have to buy some good research.
To be clear here, we're talking about treatments, not cures per se here.
Well, that's right. That's right.
Hepatitis B, an AIDS drug they had just recently got okayed for a hepatitis B treatment as well. Commerce Bank shares, you are looking at financials, and this one, believe it or not, this week hitting a 52-week high. What sets it apart?
Well, the moral of the story is that a local, what set it apart was they weren't involved in the kind of fancy trades that the big banks were doing. They were just doing the banking business. And Commerce Bank shares is right in the middle of a healthy area. The oil business is good. Real estate hasn't really taken off and created a bubble. So they got a good economy. People are working, and they're in a great business. Now, as you know, Tom, in attempting to do the remedial work for the big banks, we've got very, very low short-term interest rates, which the small local banks can still borrow from the Fed and borrow from each other at very low rates, and they've got the same high interest rates that the other banks have. They can buy high-yielding corporate bonds. Yep. They get a lot of money. You notice, as
Daniel, real quick, we got to wrap up. You own positions in Gilead and Commerce. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We appreciate the new ideas here. Daniel Frishberg of Biz Radio Network.
Thank you.